My name's Christina and you're watching Proud Book Lion, and today I'm going to do my wrap up part 6 out of 2018. I was almost about to say 2015, but it's 2018. I'm graduating. I'm not ready. Anyways, since last we spoke, I finished 5 books, so let me get into them. So first up, I have a book that I don't have anymore with me because I borrowed it from my library. I'm still doing really well on that challenge. However, if you watched my previous video, you already heard me kind of say it. It's my Big Fat Manifesto by Susan Vaught, if I remember correctly. It was about this girl that is of a bigger body, like size XXXL or something, and she describes herself as fat, and she actually starts writing a column for her school's paper, and it gets some publicity, especially as she's writing about her boyfriend who has gone through or is going through a bypass, like gastric bypass. Is it called gastric bypass? You decrease the size of your stomach basically, so you can't eat more than like a couple of spoons. It talks about obesity and it talks about social norms. It was actually pretty great. However, I thought that she played it a bit too stereotypically. Is that the correct term? I don't know. I thought it was too many stereotypes, and I also thought that sometimes it felt very forced, like the actions of all the characters. So yeah, there were a few things that I did not appreciate it, but I appreciated the general message. So I think I gave it 3 out of 5 stars. It's a good read, but it's not something that I want everybody to read. It's just a really good book, and I would love to see more characters of that size. Up next, I read Allegedly by Tiffany D. Jackson, who's a black author, and she writes about a black character, so yes please. This is about a girl that is at a home for children that have been previously in jail because she is... It's hard when you're as young as she, because you can't really be like sentenced, at least not in Sweden, but I suppose you can be that in America. So she is believed to allegedly have killed a tiny little baby named Alyssa, and she is thinking about what she's going to do because she was fairly content with being where she was. However, things happen in her life and suddenly she wants to get out really fast. So she's trying to use all her means. So by any means, she is trying to get out. And it's really creepy. Like, it was way more psychological than I had anticipated, and I love psychological books, so yes please. It's almost like a psychological thriller. It was great. Like, the last pages I read in like 2 seconds. I really loved it. I love seeing representation. I love seeing from people's point of view that we usually never get to see from. Like, young people that commit felonies are not usually the typical YA main characters. So yeah, I truly loved it, and I can't wait to see what else Tiffany D. Jackson has up her sleeves, because this book was great. I think I gave it 5 out of 5 stars, or if not, I gave it like 4.5 out of 5 stars. Next up, I have Hunting Prince Dracula by Kerry Maniscalco. So this is actually a sequel to Stalking Jack the Ripper, so I won't talk about like the premise, more that it takes place in Transylvania. I didn't really like it. I liked the last 20 or 50 pages, but I thought it was kind of boring, and part of me really liked the writing and another part of me really despised the writing, but it kind of gave me good words to use in like my Cambridge exams essays, so I mean, I'm thankful for it. I did enjoy my time reading it, but it could have been shorter and it could have been more concise. But I love the ending of it, at least. But yeah, this book was actually the book that I got or received because I won one of the Bibliophone challenges. So I'm very thankful that I got this book. Thank you so much, Kelly, and just thank you for picking me as the winner. If you have not seen my video that actually won, I'll leave a link to that down below. I think I gave it 3.5 out of 5 stars. So I did enjoy it, but it wasn't the best book that I read. Up next, I have a Swedish book, and it's called The Zebra Girl, if I translate it, but Zebraflickan in Swedish. And it's by the same author that I read a book previous wrap up, To Survive. And it's Sofia Åkerman, and this is actually her autobiography or biography, and she mainly writes about how she struggled and how she then actually recovered and started believing in herself and starting to see value in her life. I did think it was a lovely read, and I did recognize a few things from her story that I could apply to my own story and that I could feel myself represented in. However, she has had a way more intense and longer period of time being in an illness and other illnesses that I have no actual connection with, because cutting is something that have never been present in my life or in my close relatives' lives or friends' lives, so I couldn't really relate to that, nor actually being hospitalized, which she is a lot during her teenage years, and that's nothing to be ashamed of, and I love the fact that she's writing about it. I just felt hard for me to connect with the story, but I really loved it. It gave me a whole new perspective, especially on the care that we offer here in Sweden, and I hope that I'll probably end up working in the care and perhaps can improve it even more, because when she was admitted, it was not the best, and I truly hope that we will make progress during my lifetime and her lifetime as well, because she's only 30 or something. So yeah, I did really enjoy it. I think I gave it 4 or 5 stars, and I did really appreciate it. I hope she writes more books, because those are needed, as mental health is still very taboo. And lastly, I read another library book, and this is actually in Swedish, which is really deceiving because I thought it was in English, as the title is in English, but here it says The Sunstone in Swedish, which I did not notice until I had borrowed it. So I read Children of Blood and Bone in Swedish. It did not really diminish my experience. I really loved it. The last 100 pages, holy wow, a lot of things happen. It was wild, and I truly love the characters. It's so rarely that we get to see people of color have leadership roles and have main characters, and all the humans are very developed characters, and they speak their mind. They are strong, they are powerful in their own way, but also physically and mentally. I can't forget that. I truly loved it. I cannot wait for the sequel, and I'm so thankful that Tumi Adjemi, is that how you pronounce it? I'm truly thankful that she's writing these books, because they are so desperately needed, and I just love seeing this kind of representation and these kind of stories emerge, because they are truly something that this world is in need of, and I just can't wait for the sequel, and I'm just so happy that I read it. I think I gave it 4.5 or 5 out of 5 stars, because wow, it's super duper great. And yeah, if you have not read it yet, I definitely think you should pick it up, because this is actually a book that truly deserves its hype. So yeah, those were the 5 books that I read since last time we spoke. Thank you so much for watching. If you read any of these, please let me know down below, or just let me know a great book that you read recently. I hope that you have a great day / night / whatever part is for you. Bye!